And the headlines. Security agents in Plateau State have given clear instructions to apprehend perpetrators of violence. Imo governor visits Villa, calls for respect for rule of law. Travelers avoiding isolation responsible for high COVID-19 infections in Lagos. And on the foreign scene, Moderna withholds 1.63 million vaccine doses in Japan due to contamination. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Zainab Bala. For more news, follow us across all our social media platforms. Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong says security agents in the state have been directed to apprehend anyone trying to unleash violence in the state. The governor on Wednesday reimposed a 24-hour curfew in Jos North local government area following an attack on Yilwanzangam area where over 30 people were reportedly killed. The governor briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on the security situation on Tuesday before the renewed violence occurred. Lalong calls for calm and restraint, saying the state government has set up an interreligious committee to pursue reconciliation and fast-track peaceful coexistence. Until recently, relative peace has returned to Plateau, where in the past sectarian violence has been frequent. Daily Trust correspondent Dixon Adama gives an update on the situation in Jos.
Right now, I'm on the street of Jos, the Plateau State capital, and where I am now is between Old Airport Junction to Zamagana Junction via Nyango Junction. And although this place is in the south, which the curfew is still at dusk to dawn, but that is which is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Then, however, in just not right now, the curfew, which was earlier 24 hours and was reviewed to tally with that of the south, has now been reenacted again to 24 hours following the killings yesterday at Yilwanzangam community of Jos North. This behind Naraguta hostel of University of Jos. This has caused so much tension, although about 30 people plus were killed there, and it has generated so much tension in town. And the tension is for the fact that the cops were brought to the town. And those people who brought the cops to the town, they used the women, the children from that axis, brought the cops to the town, and they took the cops first to Plateau Hospital and then to the House of Assembly, and then they took it to Government House. And whenever the cops have been brought from communities like that to town and there is going to be burial or protest or something, whoever stand in the way of the protesters or the mourners are usually attacked. It doesn't matter who you are. And I think that was the recent episode we saw when some innocent travelers were coming from Ondo State, from Bauchi State to Ondo State, and they passed through Rukuba Road and they were attacked and many were killed. And that has led to renewed attacks, renewed crisis and renewed tension in Jos.
Minority caucus in the House of Representatives want immediate investigation into the attack on the Nigerian Defense Academy, Afaka Kaduna, that led to the killing of officers and abduction of another. This is coming after the Nigerian Defense Academy dismissed news circulating that personnel working in the CCTV room were asleep when bandits attacked the residential area at the permanent site. Our correspondent Fatima Saliladen has an update.
The speed at which security challenges is growing in Kaduna State is really alarming. With the recent attack by armed bandits to the Nigerian Defense Academy that resulted to the killing of 2 personnel and also the abduction of another one. There are reports this morning that the body of the abducted officer have been found. But as at the time of filing this report, there are no official confirmation as regard to that. But earlier today, the Chief of Defense Staff and his entourage visited the NDA over the armed bandits attack. According to reports, the visit was aimed at getting first-hand information on the incident for further appropriate action. Also in a release signed by its Director of Defense Information, Major General Benjamin Olufemi Sawyer, the Defense Headquarters debunked the report that says the officers on duty at the CCTV monitoring room were fast asleep when armed bandits attacked the NDA residential area. It says the information was untrue. And also at the state government end, the Commissioner, Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, says the state government has ordered the closure of some weekly markets around the area. He says the measure was taken for security purpose. Well, this is not the first time military formation is being attacked in Kaduna State, but this is the worst so far, with 2 officers gone down. The big question is, where does the problem lies?
The Nigerian Army says troops of Operation Hatinkai on Wednesday foiled an attempted attack on Babangida town in Yobe by insurgents. The Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, said this on Wednesday in Abuja. Nwachukwu said the insurgents, who were prowling for logistics replenishment, made futile efforts to infiltrate the town but were met with a fierce counterattack from the vigilant troops, forcing them to retreat in disarray. According to him, the gallant troops captured 1 gun truck, 1 Dushka anti-aircraft gun, 2 AK-47 rifles and unarmed improvised explosive devices from the fleeing insurgents. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State has called on Nigerians, particularly those in leadership positions, to protect the sanctity of the nation by upholding the rule of law. The governor made the call on Wednesday when he briefed State House correspondents after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja.
The business of government, is the protection of lives and property. And we must act as a government and live up to the responsibilities of our government. So we try to maintain law and order and condemn illegal and criminal activities and make those who are apprehended to face the law. So many people are taking laws into their hand. And some aggrieved people have resorted to self-help. All this illegality upon illegality is still illegality.
Governor Bello Matawalle of Zamfara State has accused some politicians in the state of sabotaging his efforts to end kidnapping in the state through dialogue with bandits. Matawalle leveled the allegation in a statewide broadcast on Wednesday on the security situation in the state. The state has come under increasing bandits attacks, especially in Bakura, Maradun, Maru, Tsafe and Shinkafi local government areas. The governor said his dialogue and reconciliation policy had helped in stopping bandits' activities for some time. Matawalle also faulted some governors in the northwest region for not engaging in peace talks with the bandits, which he said contributed to aggravating the attacks. Now, following flash flood alert issued by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, the Lagos state government has assured residents of the state that irrespective of the advisory, adequate measures are in place to contain any eventuality. Addressing journalists at Alausha on the state of preparedness for heavy rainfalls, which will resume in September on the release of water from the Oyan Dam, the State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tunji Bello, said the capacity of primary and secondary drains have been enhanced through consistent cleaning and clearing to contain runoffs. He explained that the same level of preparedness is what the state has in store for the advisory by the management of Ogun-Osun River Basin Authority on the release of water from the Oyan Dam in September. Flood has cut off Potiskum-Jakusko Road in Yobe State. Potiskum is the second major town in Yobe after Damaturu, the state capital. Passengers resort to patronizing canoes to cross over to the other side of the road leading to Jakusko. Yobe State has its fair share of flood this year that killed at least 2 persons. You're watching Trust TV News Update, coming up after the break. PDP Governors Board of Trustees members meet in Abuja. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. A reminder of our top stories. Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong says security agents in the state have been directed to apprehend anyone trying to unleash violence in the state. And Governor Bello Motowalli of Zamfara State has accused some politicians in the state of sabotaging his efforts to end kidnapping in the state through dialogue with bandits. Still ahead, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control says that Nigeria's COVID-19 infections on Wednesday has risen to over 188,000. A total of 637 additional infections and 7 deaths were recorded on August 25th, the NCDC announced via its verified website on Thursday. The Public Health Agency noted that the 7 COVID-19 related deaths recorded on Wednesday increased the country's fertility figure to 2,288. The agency said that there was a surge of the Delta variant in 5 states, cautioning Nigerians that the Delta is much more contagious than previous versions of COVID-19. It advised unvaccinated people to get vaccinated, adding that everyone in areas of substantial high transmission should wear a mask even if vaccinated. Lagos State has the highest fertility from COVID-19 due to travelers not observing self-isolation upon arrival. Daily Trust correspondent Abdul Latif Aliu gives us an update.
Yeah, for Lagos State, the COVID-19 pandemic is still raging very badly, especially with the third wave of the virus and the discovery of the Delta variant. Lagos State still remains the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic in Nigeria today, largely due to the fact that the state actually hosts the busiest airport in Nigeria, which is the Muritala Mohammed International Airport. According to the briefing from governors Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Monday, at least the state has recorded 130 deaths from the third wave of COVID-19 pandemic, and this is largely due to the fact that most of the travelers that were required to go on quarantine, 14-day compulsory quarantine, most of them they avoid the protocol. They are nowhere to be found, and so on. And that is why Mr. Governor, who is the state incident commander, is warning travelers that they will begin to impose appropriate sanction, which of course involves the seizure of the passports of the travelers, of the errant travelers, and so on.
Director General, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRD, Dr. Obi Adigwe, says the institute has developed and listed COVID-19 products to enhance fight against the pandemic. In an interview with Trust TV's Nafisa Abdul Al, Dr. Adigwe said such products are awaiting industry take-up.
That Nigeria depends largely on imported drugs for healthcare administration in the country is no longer news, as drugs and vaccines for some major or minor ailments are imported from overseas. With the whole world still grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic, it has become imperative to look within to find a solution. Nigeria's National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development is making giant strides in local production of drugs with high prospects of creating a COVID-19 vaccine. As part of efforts to curb the spread of the coronavirus, the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development is playing its part towards achieving locally produced vaccines. Director General, Chief Executive Officer of the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, Dr. Obi Adigwe, highlights the progress made so far.
We already have 2 products which have passed the preclinical stages. It has been listed by NAFDAC, and we're now going to clinical trials, Nepremion and Nepremion Plus. And we have strong confidence in those products because we're the first in the world to predict that the plants for which we, analyzed before we now formulated it into a capsule for Nepremion, we're the first in the world to theorize that that particular plant will have activity against COVID-19. And we have colleagues in other parts of the world who, after our theorization, have gone ahead to formulate those plants into teas, and they're already using it for management of COVID-19. We have thousands of plants and thousands of potential raw materials to produce medicines. Why do we keep importing these medicines? So NIPRID was founded and established by government to enable Nigerian scientists use their capacity to harness these raw materials and ensure the production of high quality, affordable medicines for the entire citizenry, both within Nigeria and internationally.
The institute aims to develop quality standards for phytomedicines, drugs, and diagnosis for the purpose of improving healthcare in Nigeria. Nafisa Abdul-Al, Trust TV News, Abuja.
No fewer than 8 persons have been reportedly dead, while 129 others were seriously infected in several communities following the outbreak of cholera disease in 5 local government areas of Kogi State. The Kogi State government, through its Ministry of Health, on Wednesday confirmed the outbreak of diarrhea and vomiting suspected to be cholera. This was contained in a statement made available to journalists in Lokoja by the state's epidemiologist, Dr. Austin Ojotule, on behalf of the Kogi State Commissioner for Health. Ojotule explained that 7 communities were seriously affected in Kogi, Basa, Lokoja, Ankpa, and Kababunu local government areas between February and August 2021, with 8 deaths from 3 communities from 3 of the 5 local government areas. The Commissioner assured that state government would continue to collaborate with critical stakeholders and partner to ensure that no single individual dies of preventable disease in the state, to ensure that diarrhea disease is reduced to the barest minimum in the state. National Human Rights Commission says it received 61 cases of human rights abuses in the month of July in Kano State. The NHRC Zonal Coordinator, Shehu Abdullahi, said this on Thursday in Kano. Abdullahi said that out of the 61 cases, 52 had been attended to while 9 were pending. According to him, most of the cases are an abandonment of wife and family, access to children, domestic violence and rape. Abdullahi also said that the Commission has also mediated on matters among couples and families, adding that some of the cases had been referred to courts after thorough investigations. PDP governors are meeting on Thursday in Abuja to resolve leadership crisis in the party. Deputy National Chairman Eldayemi Akinwumi and Deputy National Chairman North Senator Suleiman Nazif are laying claim to the position of National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. This followed directing Uche Secondo's chairman of the party to stop parading himself as such pending determination of the suit before it. Chairman PDP Board of Trustees Walid Jibrin and a chieftain of the party, Umar Sani, have previously spoken to Trust TV on what the party is doing to resolve the internal crisis.
It's not meeting for the 7 members only. It's for us to look at the whole issue of various campaign or members of the party also, and including governors and so on, and then correct so many mistakes which were fallen into. And I'm sure we're making all efforts to ensure that we will discover the causes, make amendments with a view of our party living in a strong and better way than it is functioning now. And we are optimistic that we are going to achieve our aims.
Certainly, there is no any basis for this problem other than 2023. Otherwise, you will discover that the problem is more or less a family affair. It is a family affair because the person who brought the national chairman is the one who wants the national chairman out. So definitely, the arguments will weigh towards that he wants, to consolidate his gains on the 2023 elections. So I don't think any other reason will have been responsible other than 2023 playing out. And more or less, there are so many other actors too who are very much interested. So I think as time goes on, the thing will be much more clear.
And in business, Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 5.01% year-on-year in real terms in the second quarter of 2021, the National Bureau of Statistics has said. The NBS disclosed this in the latest report on the nation's GDP entitled Nigeria's Gross Domestic Product Report Quarter 2 2021, released on Thursday. It explained that increase in the GDP index marked 3 consecutive quarters of growth, following the negative growth rates recorded in the second and third quarters of 2020. And on the foreign scene, Moderna Inc. said on Wednesday it has withheld supply of about 1.63 million doses of its COVID-19 vaccine in Japan after a report of contamination of vials which it suspects involved a production line in Spain. Although Moderna said no safety or efficacy issues had been identified, the suspension is a fresh setback for the firm, whose partners had production delays last month that disrupted supplies to countries, it said. It said the contamination could be due to a manufacturing issue in one of the production lines at its contract manufacturing site in Spain. It was not immediately clear whether the issue affected supplies to other countries. Japan's health ministry has decided to withdraw some doses as a precaution after consultation with Takeda, but it said it would strive to minimize the effect of the withdrawal on its inoculation plans. New research to protecting young children from malaria in West Africa has shown that combining malaria vaccine with a preventive drug can lower hospital admissions and deaths by more than 70%. However, the medical cocktail must be taken in the run-up to the rainy season. Malaria mainly affects children and young people, killing more than 400,000 people each year, mostly in Africa. The new research was carried out among 6,000 children aged between 5 months and 17 months in Burkina Faso and Mali, both badly affected by the mosquito-borne disease. Scientists at London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, who helped conduct the research, have described the findings as striking. They hope the new combination approach could have the potential to prevent malaria in large parts of Africa. And in sports, Tijani Latifat became the first athlete to pick Nigeria's medal in Tokyo 2020. She put up a scintillating performance after her first lift of 105 kg was disallowed. The Ogun State-born athlete came back strong with burning enthusiasm to write her name in gold with her second attempt of 105 kg and her third attempt was 107 kg. But she did that in a style with 117 kg in her fourth attempt, getting close to world record of 118 kg to lift the first medal for Team Nigeria in Tokyo.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel about this?
In fact, I'm glorifying Almighty Allah. I'm so happy and I'm glad that I promised 2016 that I will bring the gold. And I thank God that Almighty Allah gave me the gold. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah.
What would you say is responsible for this gold medal?
I just thank God.
So who are you dedicating your gold medal to?
I will dedicate my gold medal to my humble honorable coach. Yes.
Congratulations once again. Congratulations. Well done.
Well, that's it on news updates. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thank you for watching.